Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Applied Forensic Research Sciences. Today, Ivani Gupta will be telling you about criminal courts and their powers. So this video basically includes the introduction to criminal courts, their structure, hierarchy, types of jurisdiction, powers of criminal courts, roles in criminal courts, their trial process, constitutional rights in criminal courts, challenges, reforms, and importance of criminal courts. So now let's start with the introduction to criminal courts. So basically, criminal courts are specialized legal institutions within the broader judicial system that are responsible for hearing and deciding cases involving criminal offenses. These courts play a fundamental role in the administration of justice by determining the guilt or innocence of individuals accused of committing crimes and, if necessary, prescribing appropriate punishments or remedies. Secondly, we'll discuss about the structure of criminal courts. So, the structure of criminal courts in the United States is divided into two main categories: federal courts and the state courts. Each operates within its own jurisdiction and handle cases involving violation of federal or state criminal laws respectively. Here you can see the difference between the two also. The federal courts basically deals with the federal law, constitution, disputes between states, while the state courts deal with the state law, state constitution and local ordinances. When it comes to the example, under federal courts, the US District Courts, Courts of Appeal, US Supreme Court, and for the state court, the trial courts, example Superior Court, Circuit Courts, Appellate Court, State Supreme Court, all these comes under the state court category. So now I will be discussing about the hierarchy of courts. Firstly, I will be discuss about the general hierarchy of courts and then I will proceed with the hierarchy of criminal courts. So when it comes to the hierarchy of courts, the very first is the Supreme Court because it is the highest appellate court in a country or jurisdiction. It hears appeals from lower courts, resolve constitutional issues, and may have original jurisdiction in certain cases. The examples of Supreme Court are the United States Supreme Court and the Supreme Court of India. Second is the High Court. High Court is a court of general jurisdiction or an appellate court depending on the legal system. It may have original jurisdiction in certain matters and hear appeals from lower court. Examples are the High Court of Australia, the High Court of England and Wales. Now third is the Metropolitan. It is generally a lower level court often dealing with cases with a specific metropolitan area. It handles a range of civil and criminal cases, including less serious offenses. For example, Metropolitan Magistrate Courts in India. Now, fourth one is the Session Court. It is a court of general jurisdiction at the district level and it hears serious criminal cases and some civil cases as well. For example, the Session Court in India. Now, the last one is the District Court. It is a trial court at the district level handling a variety of cases. It typically has original jurisdiction in both the civil and criminal matters. For example, the district courts in United States and the district courts in England and Wales. So now let's discuss about the hierarchy of criminal courts. The very first is the trial courts, which are also called as district or country courts. They give original jurisdiction over most of the criminal cases and also conduct trials and make initial determinations. Second one is the Intermediate Appellate Court, which is also called as the Court of Appeals. They hear appeals from the trial court and reviews decision for legal errors, ensuring the proper application of law. Third is the Supreme Court, which we have already discussed. Let's discuss about the types of jurisdiction. So, first is the subject matter jurisdiction. This type of jurisdiction pertains to the types or categories of cases that a court is authorized to hear and decide. Courts are limited by their subject matter jurisdiction and they can only adjudicate cases falling within the scope of their designated authority. Let's understand with the help of an example. Like some courts may have jurisdiction over family law matters, while others may handle criminal cases or civil disputes. Now, the second one is the territorial jurisdiction. So, it relates to the geographic boundaries within which a court has the authority to adjudicate cases. Typically, a court's territorial jurisdiction is determined by the location where the events leading to the legal disputes occurred or where the parties involved reside. For example, a state court generally has jurisdiction over cases that arise within the borders of that particular state. Now, third is the personal jurisdiction. So, it is also known as personam jurisdiction and it refers to the court's authority over the parties involved in a legal action. It basically addresses whether a court has the power to make a decision that affects the rights and obligations of a specific individual or entity. So now let's discuss about the powers of criminal courts. So basically, criminal courts have specific powers and responsibilities within the legal system to address criminal offenses. These powers can vary to some extent depending on the jurisdiction and legal system, but here I will discuss about the common powers of criminal courts. So, as you can see, the first one is issuing warrants. So, criminal courts have the authority to issue search warrants and arrest warrants. A search warrant authorizes law enforcement to search a specific location for evidence of a crime, and an arrest warrant authorizes the apprehension of an individual suspected of committing a crime. Second is conducting trials. So, criminal courts are responsible for conducting trials where evidence is presented, witnesses are examined and cross examined, and legal arguments are made. The court's role is to ensure a fair and impartial process and to render a verdict based on the facts and the applicable laws. Third one is imposing sentence. So, if a defendant is found guilty, the criminal court has the power to impose sentences. Sentences can include fines, probation, community services, imprisonment, or a combination of these, depending on the severity of the offense and relevant sentencing laws. Fourth one is granting bail. So, criminal courts can decide whether to grant bail to a defendant awaiting trial, or bail allows the accused to be released from custody under certain conditions, ensuring their appearance in court for subsequent proceedings. Next one I'll discuss about protecting rights. So criminal courts play a crucial role in protecting the legal rights of defendants. These include ensuring the right to legal representation, the right to a fair and speedy trial, the right to confront witnesses, and protection against unreasonable searches and seizures, among others. Now, next one is the probation and parole. So, criminal courts may have the authority to order probation as a part of sentence, and probation allows a convicted offender to serve their sentence in the community under specific conditions. So, parole, on the other hand, is typically administered by a parole board and involve the early release of a prisoner under supervision. Now, last I will discuss about the revoking probation and parole. So, in an individual on probation or parole violates the conditions set by the court has the authority to revoke probation or parole and impose additional penalties, including returning the individual to prison. Roles in criminal courts. So, firstly, I'll discuss about the judge. In simple words, the judge makes sure the trial is fair and it decides what evidence can be used and decides on the punishment if someone is found guilty. Second one is the prosecution. So, for the government, shows evidence against the accused and argues for a punishment. Third one is the defense. They help the accused, questions the evidence presented, and tries to prove the accused is not guilty. Now I will make you understand about the trial process. So basically there are three types of trial: pre-trial, trial and post-trial. Firstly, I'll discuss about the pre-trial. So in pre-trial, it's like getting ready for court. Like both the sides gather evidence, talk to witnesses, and try to settle or dismiss the case before it goes to trial. Second one is the trial. So, the court hearing where evidence is presented, witnesses testify, and the judge or jury decided if the accused is guilty or not. In post trial, after the trial, if found guilty, there may be sentencing phase where the punishment is decided. If found not guilty, the case usually ends, but there might be an appeal. So, there are constitutional rights and criminal courts. Let's discuss about what those rights are. The very first right is right to a fair trial, in which includes everyone gets a chance for a fair and impartial trial. Second is the presumption of innocence. So, you are seen as innocent until proven guilty. Third one is the right to legal representations. It says that you have the right to have a lawyer defending you. Fourth is the protection against self incrimination. So it includes that you can't be forced to say anything that could make you look guilty. Fifth is the right to confront witnesses, which means that you can question and challenge those who testify against you. Sixth one is the right to a speedy trial, which includes that you should not be kept waiting too long for your trial. Seventh is the protection against unreasonable searches and seizures. So it says that authorities can't search you or your stuff without a good reason and a proper authorization. Let's discuss about the challenges. So the very first challenge is the backlogs and delay. So obviously overcrowded court dockets leads to delay in trials, violating the rights to a speedy trial and burdening the judicial system. Next is the sentencing disparities. So, inequities exist in sentencing, often influenced by factors such as race, socioeconomic status, or geographic location. Third is the resource constraint. So, courts may lack adequate resources, including the funding, staff, and technology, affecting the efficiency of the proceedings. Now, next is the bail system issues. The bail system can lead to pre-trial detention for those unable to afford bail, contributing to overcrowded jails and unfairly impacting marginalized communities. So there are some reforms also which we are going to discuss now. The first is the case management and technology. So implementing better case management systems and leveraging technology can streamline processes, reducing backlogs and improving efficiency. Next is sentencing reform. So reforms aim to address disparities in sentencing, advocating for fair and consistent sentencing guidelines and alternatives to incarceration for non-violent offenses. Third is the bail and pre-trial reforms. So, reform efforts seek alternatives to cash bail, emphasizing risk assessment tools, to determine pre-trial release, reducing unnecessary detention. Last is the court funding and staffing. So, increased funding and staffing for courts can alleviate resource constraint and allowing for smoother operation and faster processing. So, criminal courts are very important to us and they help us in many ways. So, now I will discuss about the importance of criminal courts. First is preserving rule of law. Criminal courts play a crucial role in upholding the rule of law by fairly interpreting and applying legal status, ensuring that justice is served. Second is the protection of rights. So, as we have already discussed, this safeguard the fundamental right of individuals accused of crimes and ensuring due processes, fair trials, and access to legal representation. Third is maintaining order by educating cases and imposing penalties on those found guilty. Criminal courts contribute to maintaining social order and deterring criminal behavior. Fourth is ensuring accountability. So they hold individuals accountable for their actions, promoting a sense of accountability and responsibility within society. Last one is fostering public confidence. So, fair and impartial criminal courts enhance public trust in the justice system, crucial for a functioning and cohesive society. So, in conclusion, I just want to say that criminal courts serve as a cornerstone of a fair and just society, ensuring the application of the law, protection of individuals' rights, and the administration of justice. Their pivotal role in educating criminal cases, safeguarding constitutional rights, and upholding the rule of law is indispensable to maintaining societal order and fairness within the legal framework. I hope you have understand the topic. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, share our video and also don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you.